If someone had told me that my own parents would invite me to my brother's engagement dinner and then warn me not to speak, I would have laughed. But at exactly 1:30 in the morning, my phone rang. It was my father. His voice was cold. "Tomorrow, you can join your brother's fiancé's family for dinner, but keep your mouth shut." I sat up in bed. What? Before he could answer, my mother grabbed the phone. Her words cut deeper than anything she had ever said. "Her father is a judge. Don't embarrass us. You always do." I didn't argue. I didn't cry. I just smiled and said, "Got it." The next evening, during the engagement toast, the judge walked across the room, stopped right in front of me, looked into my eyes, and asked, "Hello, I'm surprised to see you here. Who are you to them?" The entire room went silent, because nobody knew. The judge and I had a secret that could destroy everything. My name is Emma. I am 28 years old. Growing up, I was never the favorite child. My older brother Ryan could do no wrong. If he failed a test, it was the teacher's fault. If I won an award, my parents would say, "Don't show off." When I graduated from law school with honors, my father barely congratulated me. But when Ryan got promoted at his sales job, they threw him a huge party. After years of being treated like an outsider, I moved to another city. I stopped attending family gatherings. I built my own life. I worked quietly. I stayed away from drama. Then Ryan got engaged. His fiancée came from a wealthy family. Her father was one of the most respected judges in the state. Suddenly, my parents started acting like they belonged to high society. And they were terrified that I would ruin the image they had created. They didn't know. My life had changed too. And I had met someone they never expected. 3. Conflict. The next day I arrived at the restaurant. Nobody greeted me. My parents ignored me. Ryan barely looked at me. His fiancée smiled politely, but kept her distance. I was placed at the far end of the table, away from the important guests, away from the family photos. My mother leaned over. "Remember what we told you?" I nodded. Dinner continued. Everyone praised the judge. They talked about his career, his success, his reputation. Then my father laughed and said, "Our daughter isn't really interested in important things." The table laughed. I stayed silent. My mother looked satisfied. She thought I was weak. But I wasn't staying quiet because I was afraid. I was waiting. When dessert arrived, the judge finally entered. Everyone stood up. My parents rushed to greet him. Ryan's fiancée hugged him. The entire room watched with admiration. Then something unexpected happened. Instead of sitting down, he walked toward me. My parents looked confused. He stopped inches away, smiled, and held out his hand. "Emma, I didn't know you were coming." The room froze. My mother looked pale. My father couldn't speak. Then the judge asked, "Who are you to this family?" Nobody answered. I could see panic in my parents' faces, because they had spent the entire evening pretending I was nobody. Revenge plan. I slowly stood up. "I am their daughter." The judge looked shocked. The daughter, who helped me save my career. Now, everyone stared at me. Years earlier, the judge had been falsely accused during a legal investigation. I had worked as part of the legal research team that uncovered evidence proving the truth. I never told anyone, not even my family. The judge continued, "Without Emma, I might have lost everything." My father looked at me. His face was white. My mother couldn't even meet my eyes. The people who had mocked me only minutes before suddenly wanted to know my story. I didn't insult anyone. I didn't scream. Sometimes silence is the strongest revenge. The judge asked me to sit beside him. Not beside my family. Beside him. He spent the evening telling everyone about my work, my dedication, my honesty, my courage. My brother looked ashamed. His fiancée looked confused. My parents sat quietly. For the first time in my life, they had nothing to say. Then the judge smiled. "You should be proud of your daughter." Nobody answered, because they knew the truth. They had spent years trying to hide the one person they should have celebrated. When dinner ended, my mother finally walked toward me. She whispered, "We didn't know." I smiled. "No. You never wanted to know. My father asked if we could start over. I looked around the empty room. The same people who ignored me were suddenly being kind. But respect that appears after success is not love. It is regret. I wished them well. Then I walked away. Not because I hated them, but because I had finally learned my worth. People who truly love you never ask you to become smaller so they can look bigger. The world may ignore your kindness. Your family may doubt your value. They may laugh. They may leave you out. But one day, the truth has a way of walking into the room. And when it does, the people who underestimated you are often the ones left speechless. Because the strongest revenge is not destroying others. It is becoming someone they can never ignore.